I don't know. If you like reseller content, toy content, like, subscribe, comment below. Been away for a bit, just not being able to source stuff. But every once in a while, you run into something. So, grab these two games the other day. They look special. I paid good money for them, so I'm hoping we'll get into how that breaks down effectively. And then, just some clues to go through, $2 each on those. One of them is different from what I've run into, has another part. So let's see if that's something or nothing. So let's dig into these clues. All right, so, of course, the games we buy for parts. Clue, Monopoly, Game of Life, and Sorry. Clue, I've been cooling my heels on a bit. This is probably the last 2013 one I'm going to buy here. I've stopped picking them up entirely because the only thing that sells out of them are the weapons. And that's almost break even. So I make $1. So it's really kind of just not worth it because the fact is I'm just as likely to not have all the weapons in the box and then I get nothing out of it. Not to be deterred just yet, I am going to list the cards, see if I get any takers on those as I ramp up my volume pricing. And what did I say about weapons? What am I missing? Missing the wrench. Nope, we got the wrench. Missing the knife. I probably got one. The pawns, I don't even think I sell anymore at this point. But, yeah, so we got that. Then we had a 2002 I just went through. We'll get to the results on that in a bit. But this one, I've never seen before. It's got, what's her face on the front? Dr. Orchid. They brought her out for one season and then shit canned her. Or, I guess 2. So it was 20... I think it was 2013, and this is a 2017 game. But it's got this thing. Press to see who done it. And it's a light-up mirror. I've never seen this. Because this game is typically a smaller box. And the box size doesn't really determine anything in the game as far as I've ever noticed. Not like a larger game. More to it, whatever. So I don't know if there's any resale value for this mirror. A lot of gimmicky stuff for Clue just doesn't work, so nobody's possibly looking for it. It's got like these weird pawns, and what I don't like about this as a reseller is when you change up a part, I need another listing, and another listing costs me money potentially. And it separates how I could deal with like volume pricing. So I'm not liking that. But see, we're missing the pipe. The pipe is the one that always goes missing. Might be rolling around in here though. The pipe goes missing because it is a pipe. It's rounded. Rolls away. All these cards are bent. Amazing. But again, this is the one that nobody's been buying, so might not matter. Oh, there's the pipe. Yeah, we'll look at this a bit. Battery powered, obviously. Well, it works. Whole thing is just warped to shit. I don't know what could have possibly happened to it, but so I don't know how this works. Might be that you slide the guilty party in, maybe. Try it. There's like a card slot. That is sort of how it's supposed to work. If I can get an angle where it's not. Yeah, you can kind of see it says Professor Plum. Doesn't work great. But it's a little something. We'll get this all sorted and we'll go through it. Alright, so Some of the stuff is getting trashed. So I looked at these cards. It's always good to look at your listings and kind of just see what's going on, adjust pricing, get rid of stuff, which I've had to do because eBay cut my amount of free listings. So these clue cards from this era, I have a ton of them listed. Nobody ever looks at them, so I'm not even going to bother adding it to the pile. I'm just going to toss them. These, I'm not even going to look at more than likely because the pawns don't sell at all. But we got weapons. I was missing a wrench and a rope, but you know, I keep that thing on me. So I had enough in my backups to make 3 piles. These figures do sell because they're unique just in this year, and they're painted. They're kind of nice. The 2 card sets that do sell. So that puts us here. And then we got this mirror we got to look into. So we're going to look at Clue Mirror. And see what's what. That's interesting. So right away, we got one with 4 watchers. It tells me if I price it lower than that, I'll probably sell it. So it's a 2017 thing. A lot of them may be broken physically, like somebody hit it or the batteries blow up. So we're seeing the game with the mirror for sale. That's actually like a pretty good price. These are all brand new though. Interesting. So 29 Clue Mirror for sale. So yeah, that one sold. So it's the only one for sale is the thing. People aren't really looking for it, but there's very few of them. Now, I don't, with revealing mirror, yeah, so it's not called something else. So I can undercut this guy. This thing isn't heavy, and it works. At least I think it works. My concern is that half of it lights up and the other half does not, and I don't know if that's normal. So I don't know if it's damaged. I'm going to have to look into that. But I think I would list that for like $10. Yeah, I'm going to look it up and make sure it works. I'm going to list it. I'm going to undercut this guy and see what happens. But we're still in the red because I spent more than I usually do on 2 other items. So let's dig into the first one of those. We're moving on. I just wanted to show I was testing this with better batteries because I looked it up and I saw a review of an unboxing, and with better batteries it actually works pretty good. So this is working fine, and that is totally sellable. All right, so I took a chance on 2 things. They were $10 each, which is a lot for a thrift store, but what I did is I bought one thing that's kind of a sure thing that allowed me the wiggle room to buy the other thing, which I don't know about. So this is the sure thing. This is Legend of the 5 Rings card game, new in box. It is sealed. Now, Legend of the 5 Rings came out, I want to say like 96. It was a card game, like when Magic the Gathering started popping off, a lot of card games started coming out. And it is a samurai-based card game with 5 major clans. Each of them have their own thing based on a mythical version of Japan, basically. It had monsters and dragons and all kinds of stuff. I don't know if the card game itself is still alive. Card games are tricky. You can kind of fuck yourself on them because you could buy card games that, you know, once upon a time were played, and once the game's dead, the cards have no value. There's no collector's market for it anymore. This came out 2017, I think. Yeah, 2017. Fantasy Flight games. So this is a revival, I suppose. I did a quick look in the store just to make sure that it was something. And it came back as not a bad investment, not a great investment, but it'll sell eventually. And I'm okay with that. So we got 276, but that's going to include older stuff perhaps. But Fantasy Flight, yeah, if I put Flight rather than Fantasy, that should narrow it down. Didn't really do anything. Okay, so here it is, sealed, $30. Another one, 30 something. This one, pre-owned, 20. So the new ones are all hovering around 30. Now I paid 10 and I'm gonna have to ship it. And you can see the resell rate wasn't fantastic, unfortunately. But being brand new, it should hold its value all right. So some of the pre-owned are going for quite a bit. I don't know why. Then we got a couple brand new ones that didn't sell for as much as I'd like. I'm going to list, realistically, I'll do 25, which doesn't leave me a shitload of wiggle room. I'll make about $7. But it likely won't depreciate, which is cool. So we got into the black. So we're good. We didn't lose any money yet. So we're going to look at the last item and we're going to see what we can do with it. This is the last item. So this was in the same store as the other thing. So I'm going to go back to that store because this kind of implies when you see things that are that don't typically fit in what a thrift store takes in, I often assume either somebody died or somebody like got a girlfriend or moved out, like nerd stuff, right? And then they offloaded all of it. So there's only two things out there. Either I missed the boat and it's all gone, although the two items I grabbed I thought were of value. So I got to go back and see if they've sorted more. There could be figures that I can grab, other board game stuff. So this one's open though. This is Pathfinder Rise of the Rune Lords base set. And this goes for good money if it's complete. It's taped. Weird. I thought it wasn't taped. Loosely taped. Alright, so I'm gonna have to tackle this. We want the box to be intact. This is a good box. I'm gonna sell this as a kit, if at all possible. A robust box though, so the tape doesn't seem to be harming it any. One. Thankful this particular thrift shop, there's one guy that processes stuff that sometimes for whatever reason he tapes around the entire bottom and it is absolutely impossible to get that tape off. I don't buy it unless I know I'm just ripping that box apart because, you know, he done fucked it up. Alright, that wasn't bad at all. I'm gonna have to go through and see what makes it complete. The fun stuff about buying things like this is sometimes you get way more in it than you thought. Sometimes you get less, but we got the rule book. I know nothing about this game. I do love card games, though. At a point, my kids will be old enough to play stuff like this, and I'll probably get back into it for their sake. It makes you a good thinker, I think. So we have a lot of cards I'm going to have to go through and figure out if everything is here. So stay tuned for that. Counting the cards, I haven't found a list of what's what yet. It just says there's almost 500 cards. So if you're trying to figure out if you have a lot of something or not enough of something, here's a trick to not have to count to 500. I counted to 100. And I'm going to press that down flat. I'm going to press this one down flat. And those last two cards will line up with each other if you have a pile of 100. There's not enough like wiggle room in the pile for there to really be a card missing. So as long as you press them both down and get rid of all that space. So it looks like maybe one more on this pile. But now I don't have to count. That's 200. And I'm happy with that. Now, it said nearly 500, and we have basically nearly 500. It's probably going to be off by a few cards. I'd call nearly 500 if it was 490, because you wouldn't say 490. I'm going to call it complete, because I don't want to go through every single card. I don't think it would even matter to the game. But the game is not complete, because it's missing dice. There's supposed to be a generic dice set in here, and there ain't one. That kind of sucks. But let's take a look at what these go for. A Pathfinder Rise Rune Lords. That's sold. Alright. We're looking for this particular set. Alright, I think it's the base set, so we can put base. That narrowed it down quite a bit. So 98 base set. And I grabbed it because pre-owned $40, $60. The asking prices are kind of all over the place, but I thought they were pretty good. Now we are missing stuff, but it's not mission critical. Most people have those dice. Sell-through's only 20%, but so this is add-on decks. We don't got that. We don't got player advantage deck. Base set. Complete. We don't have complete, but we have really close to complete. That's 35 on that. That one's quite expensive. That's sold in the UK. Another complete for 30. So we may be around 25 on this, which is not great. So kind of leaves us where we were at the other one. Unfortunately, the dice don't help us. I can't call it complete. Factory sealed, set new. Yeah, pricing's really all over the place on this. Base monster cards, just selling sets. I don't know if that's a thing. I mean, it's obviously this person made it a thing. When we look at base cards, I don't know why you'd sell base cards. Well, I already put base. Yeah, I don't know. That person's just going out there doing that. I didn't see any more cards for sale. Yeah, so that wasn't a great pickup. It wasn't bad. So we're on 25. I'm only going to do... meh. Be about there. Not great. Not a great day. It should move, but yeah. Was expecting more out of this one, actually. What I was hoping for is more cards. I knew there were expansions. So I was hoping when I opened it, it'd be like a whole expansion pack or something, like I did with Dixit the other day. But no, we weren't weren't lucky, but we didn't lose out. We got some listings that should go. So yeah, if you like reseller content, toy content, like, subscribe, comment below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.